What is up, beautiful people? I hope you're all having a great day. I know I am, because today I am driving in the BMW i4 M50. I'm your host with the beard, and without further ado, let's jump right into the review. Check it out. First of all, I would like to thank BMW Peter Daning for providing me with this car and making this video possible. I will link their Instagram and their website down below, so be sure to go and check them out. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here she is, the BMW i4 M50. We can see, typical 4 Series, with the acceptance that the grille isn't real. So you can see this part is completely closed here, just a plastic trim. And down here it is open. These are the radar systems, perfectly integrated into the grille with all these symbols as well. And you have these flaps behind here. I don't know if you guys can see it. These can open up as well as to cool the battery when it gets too hot and let cool air in. We have some real air vents on the sides here and there. And I love these kind of like bronze touches they put throughout the whole car, like around the grille, around these air vents here, on the side mirrors as well. This car has the BMW laser lights, which we can recognize through these blue accents. And this specific car has been equipped with 19-inch rims. I would obviously prefer 20 or 21-inch rims, because that would look better with this car, but hey. We see the BMW symbol right there, which is surrounded by a blue line, which indicates that this is a completely electric version of this car. You can also see it right here, the blue lining. Let's move on to the rear view mirrors. So here we see the bronze. This is such a beautiful color. Although I'm not a fan of these mirrors, they look a bit too squared off for my taste. I like the streamlined mirrors from the previous generation M cars better than this. Here we have the new style BMW door handles. I'm sorry, I couldn't find the words for a minute there. So like this, the door opens up, and when you press it here, the door will close. This is the Grand Coupe version. So it has 4 doors. Is it more practical than the Coupe? We'll see in a minute. So this is the back side. No exhaust pipes, just 2 diffusers, as this is a fully electrical vehicle. And the M50 decal right here to indicate that this is not your average electric vehicle. Overall, I think the shape looks good. It's beautiful, just like a regular 4 Series, of course, but it's very streamlined, kind of like a bullet shape. We have some air vents over here as well, and these are also real, I believe. Yes, these are real. The camera can't pick it up, but this is real. So the air flows in through the front, over the wheels, and exits through here. Now let's check out the interior of the BMW i4 M50. Nicely wide opening doors. We see this leather with the blue stitching right here. Harman Kardon surround system, or sound system rather. And now we are in the cabin. A very special cabin, not your average 4 Series cabin, because this has the upgraded interior and the upgraded iDrive system. And now these are dual screens. So you got a large screen right here behind the steering wheel and a very large infotainment screen right here. Let me turn on the car to show you guys more details. So it's very large. I know a lot of BMW enthusiasts will be like, what? No, why did they put like dual screens? That's Mercedes and everything and this and that. But trust me, these screens look so good. They're so bright and very responsive. Look at this. Let me go to the navigation. Here we go. Very responsive. It's practically a smartphone, like a huge smartphone. We have the climate system right here. These are all touch operated now, but this stays on the screen no matter what, so you have easy access. Still, I would have preferred like some physical buttons right here, but anyways, this is what you get. You have the seat heating here, your fan speed and everything, your temperature that you can set. And I like it that if it's very warm in the car, you see these hot like waves going through here, and then when you get it like really cold, it's like cold waves going the other way. It looks very good, very nice touch. And this is how you go to the home screen, and then you have like different widgets here, and you can also set them to your own liking. Like if you want the radio over here and the telephone right here, then you can do that. You can add new widgets from this screen right here, and then you have, you know, like your example for your route. There you go. So it's going to show you everything on the navigation screen. Let's go back, and these are your settings for your car. So this is the usage of the car at the moment, and you know, the average usage. And then if you go back, we have your personal assistant, your radio stations, very new styling, and I kind of like it. It looks very bright, very crisp. We also have a 360-degree top-down view camera in this car. Very crisp graphics, very clear, and you can pick different angles for your camera. So this is for not scratching your rims or the paint of the car. On the other side, you can have the front view as well and the back view. And you have a 3D setting as well. So if you want to look around the car like this, I don't know why I can't. I must be doing something wrong or something, because normally you can just move around with your fingers, but I guess it's not the case here. Anyways, you can look around the car very easily, like here. It shows you everything. Look, I'm standing at a lake. It's so beautiful. So very clear, very crisp, and I think it's very needed in this car as well. The car also comes with ambient lighting, so when you press this, you can choose different kind of colors. It's not that many options, but still it's there, and very bright, very mood setting colors. I can't show you guys right now because it's daylight and I don't have the car until night time. Which I like as well is the drive recorder. I can't use it right now, but if you press this and you drive around, the car will record while you're driving, and it will, I think, record 15 minutes before. Like for example, you have an accident, and then it will automatically record 15 minutes prior to that accident, so you can see exactly what happened, and which is very handy for, you know, when it goes to court and you don't know who exactly is in fault. Moving to the brand new gauge cluster of BMW. Looks kind of okay. I prefer the look of the previous one, but it's still very clear, very crisp, and it changes, you know, appearance. If you put the car, for example, in Eco Pro mode, this is comfort mode, and this is sport mode. So it changes appearance, and also your screen right here, your infotainment screen, it changes color as well. So when you put it in comfort mode, it's like this nice relaxing desert type of thing, and then Eco Pro is like these waves, or this is like Aurora Borealis that you see on the North Pole, and then sport right here. Your typical BMW M steering wheel with the blue lining, showing you and reminding you that you're driving an electrical car, with the steering, heating, M Sport, and then all your various functionalities. I absolutely love this carbon fiber trim on the dashboard and on the middle console here. So much better than the piano black. Nice leather stitching right here. This is kind of a hard plastic, but your knee is going to be resting against here, and this is kind of like a cushion with leather around it, so you're not going to notice the hard plastic down there anyways. Very nice door handles, very firm, and the door also closes with a nice satisfying thud. All the buttons feel very expensive, nice and firm, well built. A very beautiful interior, I must say. The car has been equipped with the M Sport seats, and these are very heavily padded and a very special design to it as well. They all have blue stitching. There's blue stitching throughout this car. Is it because this car is electric? I don't know, or maybe it's a trim. If you guys know, is it like that all electric cars from BMW standard come with blue stitching? I'm not really sure about that, but these are fully electrical with memory function as well. The middle console is fairly large, with a rubber padding down here, so you can store a lot of stuff in here. We have some USB-C outlets right here and a light, and also leather wrapped with the blue stitching. Then we have the gear lever also with the blue accents and the start stop button as well. We have two cup holders right here and a wireless charging pad for your phone with a carbon fiber lid on it. Absolutely gorgeous. The glove box, let's check it out. It's okay, not the largest in the market, but it's still okay. You can't fit a lot of stuff in here, but you have other spaces in the car to do that. The door bins right here. Let me take away my mask. You have a bottle here, and it's actually pretty small, the door bins. So you have a large spot for a large bottle right here, but the storage space back here is a tad bit too small. Checking the space in the rear of the i4 M50. When we open the door, we see this nice little cutout to preserve the style of the coupe and keep the rear window there back into place. Nice wide opening doors, so access is pretty easy. And as you can see, this seat has been placed in my driving position, so I have plenty of knee room. And talking about headspace, I have about 3 fingers of headspace left. I'm about 5'10", 5'11", so I'm pretty fine in here, but people over 6 foot might struggle to find space here. Also, I'm talking about the bottom of the seats that is sloping up a little bit, so it's kind of difficult to slouch forwards to give your head more space. And now let's check out the boot space of the BMW i4 M50. Fully electrically opening tailgate, and it actually opens really wide. Look at this. It's almost at a 90-degree angle, so you will have no issues fitting in larger items in here. The boot is pretty wide and goes pretty deep, but it's gonna be a bit of a trouble stack enough stuff because of the coupe shape of the car. But you can recline these rear seats and take off this middle parcel shelf right here to fit in larger items without issues. And now let's check out how the BMW i4 M50 drives and behaves on the road. So first of all, the suspension is decently soft. It does soak up all the bumps and the cracks in the road pretty well, so there's no hardness there, in Eco Pro mode that is. So the BMW i4 M50 basically is the very first electric vehicle that has been worked on by BMW's M division, which means they gave this car 544 horsepower and a mind-boggling 800 newton meters of torque. So here I'm going to test out the full potential of this car, and watch me when I floor the throttle right now. Look at the expression on my face, and this is in Eco Pro mode, so the car literally shoots forward and releases all that power. So basically this is in Eco Pro mode, so it's not even all the 544 horsepower. So next I'm going to put the car in Sport Plus or Sport Boost mode and check my facial expression and check my body, how it gets pushed back into these sport seats. Look at the feeling of awe on my face as I nearly lose control of the steering wheel. This car is equipped with a electric motor on the front axle and one on the rear axle, so it has 4-wheel drive, and even with 4-wheel drive there was a decent amount of wheel spin when I floored the throttle. Here I'm gonna floor it again, and I just can't get enough of the power of this car because all 540 horses and 800 newton meters of torque just get released, and that does have a significant amount of pressure on your body, and you literally feel the tingles in your belly. This is what I'm explaining right here, and it's basically insane that they can make cars like this in these days. And these cars are readily available for the large public. It's not like only sports cars drivers or race drivers are going to drive with this car. Steering feel is pretty light in Eco Pro mode, and when you put it in sports mode, the steering firms up extremely well. So you do have a decent amount of feedback. Obviously it's kind of a fake heavy feeling, but you still do know where the car is pointing, where the wheels are pointing, and you can place the car between the lines on the road exceptionally well. When taking turns in the BMW i4 M50, there is barely any body roll noticeable, especially in the Sport Boost mode, which makes this car perfect for aggressive cornering. In Eco Pro mode, the suspension does soften up a decent amount, but there is still no noticeable body roll even in that mode. But that is perfect for city driving. If you want to do aggressive cornering, some landscape and B-road driving, then you should put the car in sport mode because you have the most feedback and the most feel in that mode. The cockpit of the BMW i4 M50 is actually very driver oriented. The two large screens that you see in front of you are not like straight on like in the Mercedes models, but they are slightly curved. So the infotainment part of this screen is actually pointed towards the driver, which makes it very easy to even use the touchscreen and see all kinds of information on it. When I listen closely, there is a slight amount of wind noise coming in through these mirrors because they are kind of rectangle shaped and not very aerodynamic in my opinion. Tires do make some noise and that sound does intrude into the cabin, but apart from that there are no noises. This being a BMW, there are no scratchy noises, no intrusive sounds because the build quality of the cabin is of the highest quality. Plus, if you hear the wind noise or the tire noise or anything, this car has been equipped with the Harman Kardon sound system, and that is of a very high and decent quality. So mostly you'll be listening to the music anyway, because this car doesn't have an exhaust note or anything, being an electric vehicle. And while you're playing the radio or your favorite music, the wind noise and the tire noise are not even noticeable at all. The BMW i4 M50 also comes with a plethora of technological features. For example, it has a very large heads-up display. It has all the driver's assist features like lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control. It has self-drive as well, so it's just going to follow the car in front of you, stay between the lines, and perfect for traffic jams and congestions is that it's also going to stop and move at itself following the car in front of you. You can't take your hands off the wheel for too long, obviously, because then it's going to start beeping at you and eventually stop if you do not respond. One thing that was bothering me during my drive in this i4 M50 is that these sport seats, although they were very supportive and the aggressive bolstering does keep you in place when taking aggressive corners, the backrest was a little bit hard for my back, and I did try adjusting it in various positions, but it still felt a little bit hard. So I think maybe it's just me, or I think for longer journeys this car might be a little bit fatiguing for your back. So I would ideally opt for the comfort seats, as I believe they will provide more relaxation for your back. Okay, so BMW claims that per charge you can do about 500, slightly over 500 kilometers per charge with this car. I don't think anyone will ever even get close to that number because this car is way too much fun to drive. It's a high performance EV. It's the electrical equivalent of the BMW 440i, and realistically I think you should be counting more towards between 300 and 350 kilometers, which is about the same mileage that I get out of my BMW M4 competition, which is an internal combustion engine, of course. But I think 350 kilometers is decent for a performance EV like this, and people looking for higher mileage, they should probably look at the i440, which has a bit less power but also a longer reach per charge. And this car should only be, or is actually only targeted towards those people that always want to drive sportively and want to take the car, on back roads and get the most of all the power this car has to offer. Because for me, this is actually the perfect driver's EV available on the market as of yet, that I have tested, of course.